Hello, everyone. My name is Milind Sharma, and I'm going to share with you some of my take on what happened with Trump's so-called Muslim ban. So, the Ninth District Court recently struck down his immigration ban. It's not a Muslim ban. It's an immigration ban from 7 countries with prominent Muslims. 7 countries. And I believe those 7 countries are Syria, Libya, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Lebanon, and Yemen. Those are the 7 that he banned. And yet, the Muslims that are most extreme are from Saudi Arabia. So he couldn't even make the case anyhow, and there's no evidence to back up his claims. So the Ninth District Court did make the right decision, and they struck it down unanimously. And the report said that the Trump administration would not take this case to the Supreme Court or another appeals court, that he would instead write a new immigration order soon. And that's what he's going to do, most likely. He's going to write a new immigration order instead of keeping this order, after it failed through the courts twice, one from a Seattle judge and the appeals court. So that's the story there. So what I'm going to explain here, and this is a Medium article that I wrote. I'll put the link below. Share it just share it everywhere. Read it. It's a 5-minute read, and here I explain how Meryl Streep and actors like Meryl Streep and Ali Doosty and many, many others that are so hypocritical to call this ban racist or just horrible. And yes, it may be horrible in your opinion. However, these actors and actresses did not stand up against Obama when he did similar policies such as this. So my article is called "Celebrities Are Not Brave Standing Up to Trump. They Never Said a Word About Obama's Abominable Policies." And I'm going to go through that right now. So Obama greatly expanded the drone warfare program under then President George W. Bush. According to the Bureau of Investigation, the U.S. carried out an estimated 10 times as many drone strikes during the Obama era than the Bush era. 563 airstrikes than the Bush administration, which only did 57, less than 100. The Obama administration claimed drone strikes were not putting quote, innocent men, women, and children in danger. That's what the Obama administration said. In all actuality, the White House released a report in direct contradiction to the previous White House's claim. However, the human rights organizations feel that, in fact, those numbers are actually underestimating the actual total deaths among civilians affected by airstrikes. So according to a paper by Gregory McNeil, 70%, almost 3/4 of the airstrikes that the Obama administration claimed were not against any civilians, women, or children, were used as collateral damage. According to the Bureau of Investigation of Journalism, the estimate is 6 times higher. Between 381 civilians were killed, according to the Bureau of Investigation, or of the Bureau of Journalism. As the majority of American troops left Afghanistan in 2014, there was a 40% increase in U.S. airstrikes. So the defense industry of the military-industrial complex had to get their money some way. They donate about hundreds of thousands of dollars to presidential candidates, and they need to spend on military somehow. So the troops are leaving, then increase the airstrikes, and that's exactly what happened. According to the UN, there was at least 85 civilian casualties. In 2010, at least 89 civilians were killed after 128 CIA drone strikes in 2010. Again, that's only in 1 year, and Bush only did 57 in his entire 8 years, his entire 2 term in office. In Yemen, commanders believed that they were targeting terrorists, but instead killed 55 people. And this was an airstrike. 21 children, 12 women, 5 pregnant. Now the U.S. is currently bombing up to 7 countries and dropped over 26,000 bombs last year alone. And that was under the Obama administration. So let me repeat that. The United States is currently dropping bombs in 7 countries, those same countries that we're bombing right now under the Trump administration. 26,000 bombs last year alone. So these same countries that President Trump is barring from the United States, we're bombing them right now. So there's no protests when the Obama administration sent hundreds of airstrikes in those countries, and 70% of them are used for collateral damage against civilians. There's no airstrikes about that, but there's airstrikes about Trump barring them from our country. And in fact, President Obama actually sent the precedent for this to happen. I'll explain that in a second. One of the most prominent airstrikes occurred in October 2011. A 16-year-old citizen named Al-Awlaki, I'm not going to say his first name because it's so long to say, son of Anwar al-Awlaki, died in a JSOC, Joint Special Operations Command, strike. During a press account, an anonymous official called Abdulrahman's death, quote, an outrageous mistake. In turn, these types of actions cause human rights organizations to take quick action. So, let me just read this first. The ACLU launched a legal battle over the fact that American citizens were getting killed, over the controversial targeting killing program. So, this was a 16-year-old citizen who was killed. He was killed in an airstrike by the United States in Yemen without due process. Was just killed by an airstrike ordered by President Obama. The U.S. Constitution and international law prohibits the use of lethal force outside of armed conflict zones unless it is used as a last resort, as a concrete, specific, and imminent threat to grave harm. Clearly, this person was not a grave threat to the United States, especially when he was 8,000 miles away, eating dinner with his cousins. He was in his house eating dinner with his cousins. He wasn't even outside, and we bombed him. These types of actions not only call for, but force Trump to continue this lavish force of civilians to be killed in the Middle East. According to The Guardian, President Trump personally approved a raid that killed the daughter of Anwar al-Awlaki, an 8-year-old American girl, in Yemen. So everybody was freaking out about this, and outrageous. A couple weeks ago, everybody was freaking out about this outrageous outrageous raid in Yemen that killed this American citizen, 8-year-old girl. But nobody said anything when Obama killed al-Awlaki's son. Nobody said anything about that. And all of them are U.S. citizens. So keep that in mind. So and here's where I'll explain, and then now I'm going to explain how the Muslim ban was actually set up by the Obama administration. So, in February 2016, the Obama administration, the Department of Homeland Security under the Obama administration announced that it would implement the Terrorist Travel Prevention Act of 2015. Oh no, it was actually adding on to. So in February, they were actually adding on to the Terrorist Travel Protection Act of 2015. The act set forth during the Obama years, keep in mind. So during the Obama years, would add 3 countries to the visa waiver program travel from individuals in Libya, Somalia, and Yemen. So this was barring visa waiver programs from Libya, Somalia, and Yemen. Okay, so let's continue. From March 1st, 2011 and on, it was U.S. policy under the Obama administration to restrict and target people from Iraq, Syria, Iran, and Sudan. So this was all under the Obama administration. So 4 of these countries plus the 3 equals 7. So that was total. So if you add, so the beginning of the plan was Iraq, Syria, Iran, Sudan. And then in February 2016, the Obama administration, or the Department of Homeland Security, added Libya, Somalia, and Yemen. So that adds up to 7 countries. Those same countries that we're bombing right now. Some civil rights groups voiced their discontent. Quote, "These restrictions have provoked an outcry from the Iranian American community, as well as Arab American and civil liberties groups who say the restrictions on dual nationals and certain travels are discriminatory and could be imposed against American dual nationals." So actress Alabusti claims that this was racist, but in fact, this civil rights group claimed that under the Department of Homeland Security under the Obama administration was actually racist toward the Iranian American community. Keep in mind, under the Obama administration. But wait, I thought all these problems were Trump because Trump's so horrible. Nope. These are the failed policies of the neoliberal Democrats, and that's what caused President Trump. So you see, to recap, Obama expanded a Republican strategy of bombing countries. He expanded that by 10 times. 70% of them were used for collateral damage. The Obama administration made some of Bush-era tax cuts permanent, and proposed cuts to Social Security early in his administration as a quote-unquote grand bargain with Republicans. And luckily, the Social Security cuts didn't pass. So, again, this is where all this lesser evil thing comes hand in hand. Under Bill Clinton, after passed, the Clinton administration gutted welfare, was in favor of putting some sort of barrier on the Mexican-United States border. And worst of all, he deregulated Wall Street. Oh, don't forget about the mainstream media. Now we only have 6 companies controlling 90% of our mainstream media. 6 companies. ABC, Fox, NBC, CNBC, CNN, MSNBC, CBS. All of these are controlled by corporations. And that's what Bill Clinton did. So, and then again, the Obama administration, when the Affordable Care Act passed, yes, it was a great step for healthcare reform, but the law was written by lobbyists so that pharmaceutical companies can make a profit off it. And plus the Affordable Care Act was actually endorsed by the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank. That's why Republicans never came up with a replacement strategy to counter the Obamacare, basically. That's why they don't have a strategy for it, because this was a Republican plan. But of course, not going to say that because Obama was the Democrat president. So these policy initiatives presented by Democrats beholden to their donors allow corporatism to take strong hold of the Democratic Party over the principles of progressives. So Obama, what I'm trying to say here is that if Trump implements these horrible strategies, just don't look at just Trump. Look at the entire, look at everything that happened. Look at what Obama did. Obama prosecuted the most whistleblowers in United States history. He deported the most immigrants in United States history. Poor people under African American poor people have increased under the Obama administration. So don't look at Trump's. Just don't look at Trump. Look at Obama too. And protest when Obama does bad things, celebrities. Don't just protest when Trump does, because that's not brave. That's just fitting the narrative of what the mainstream media is doing. Thanks for listening. My name is Milan Sharma. Follow me at Real Milan Sharma on Twitter. And again, this article that I'm citing from, you can find the link below on Medium. You can follow me on Medium as well. Subscribe to my channel, support it, like it if you enjoyed this video, and thanks for listening. I appreciate it.